Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are reading with the Course Companions group, headed by Emily Bennington, with commentary by Robert Perry. Today we are on Chapter 25, The Holy Spirit's Justice, and today we will be reading the conclusion section, Section 10, The Justice of Miracles. What can it be but arrogance to think your little errors cannot be undone by heaven's justice? And what could this mean except that they are sins and not mistakes, forever uncorrectable, and to be met with vengeance, not with justice? Are you willing to be released from all effects of sin? You cannot answer this until you see all that the answer must entail. For if you answer yes, you mean you will forgo all values of this world in favor of the peace of heaven. Not one sin will you retain, and not one doubt that this is possible will you hold dear, that sin be kept in place. You mean that truth has greater value now than all illusions, and you recognize that truth must be revealed to you because you know not what it is. To give reluctantly is not to gain the gift, because you are reluctant to accept it. It is saved for you until reluctance to receive it disappears, and you are willing it be given you. God's justice warrants gratitude, not fear. Nothing you give is lost to you or anyone, but cherished and preserved for you in heaven, where all the treasures given to God's Son are kept for him. Footnote 46, Matthew 6:20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Back to the text. And okay, let me repeat that sentence. I'm sorry, I need to keep my finger on where I go down. Nothing you give is lost to you or anyone, but cherished and preserved for you in heaven, where all the treasures given to God's Son are kept for him, and offered anyone who but holds out his hand in willingness they be received. Nor is the treasure less as it is given out. Each gift received but adds to the supply. For God is fair. He does not fight against his Son's reluctance to see salvation as a gift from him. Yet would his justice not be satisfied until it is received by everyone. Be certain any answer to a problem the Holy Spirit solves will always be one in which no one loses. And this must be true because he asks no sacrifice of anyone. An answer which demands the slightest loss to anyone has not resolved the problem, but has added to it and made it greater, harder to resolve, and more unfair. It is impossible the Holy Spirit could see unfairness as a resolution. To him, what is unfair must be corrected because it is unfair. And every error is a perception in which one, at least, is seen unfairly. Thus is justice not accorded to the Son of God. When anyone is seen as losing, he has been condemned, and punishment becomes his due instead of justice. The sight of innocence makes punishment impossible and justice sure. The Holy Spirit's perception leaves no grounds for an attack. Only a loss could justify attack, and loss of any kind he cannot see. The world solves problems in the other way. It sees a resolution as a state in which it is decided who shall win and who shall lose, how much the one shall take and how much the loser still defend. Yet does the problem still remain unsolved, for only justice can set up a state in which there is no loser, no one left unfairly, treated and deprived, and thus with grounds for vengeance. Problem solving cannot be vengeance, which at best can be another problem added to the first, in which the murder is not obvious. The Holy Spirit's problem solving is a way in which the problem ends. It has been solved because it has been met with justice, and until it has, it will recur because it has not yet been solved. The principle that justice means no one can lose is crucial to this course. For miracles depend on justice, not as it is seen through this world's eyes, but as God knows it, and as knowledge is reflected in the sight the Holy Spirit gives. No one deserves to lose, and what would be unjust to him cannot occur. Healing must be for everyone, because he does not merit an attack of any kind. What order can there be in miracles unless someone deserves to suffer more and others less? And this is justice to the wholly innocent. And that's a question. And this is justice to the wholly innocent. A miracle is justice. It is not a special gift to some to be withheld from others as less worthy, more condemned, and thus apart from healing. Who is there who can be separate from salvation if its purpose is the end of specialness? Where is salvation's justice if some errors are unforgivable and warrant vengeance in place of healing and return of peace? Salvation cannot seek to help God's Son be more fair than he has sought to be. If miracles, the Holy Spirit's gift, were given specially to an elect and special group and kept apart from others as less deserving, then is he ally to specialness. What he cannot perceive, he bears no witness to, and everyone is equally entitled to his gift of healing and deliverance and peace. To give a problem to the Holy Spirit to solve for you means that you want it solved. To keep it for yourself to solve without his help is to decide it should remain unsettled, unresolved, and lasting in its power of injustice and attack. No one can be unjust to you unless you have decided first to be unjust. And then must problems rise to block your way. Footnote 47, the problems, in other words, are a manifestation of your own decision to be unjust, unloving to others. Back to the text, and peace be scattered by the winds of hate. Unless you think that all your brothers have an equal right to miracles with you, you will not claim your right to them, because you were unjust to one with equal rights. Seek to deny, and you will feel denied. Seek to deprive, and you have been deprived. A miracle can never be received because another's could receive it not. Only forgiveness offers miracles, and pardon must be just to everyone. The little problems that you keep and hide become your secret sins because you did not choose to let them be removed for you. And so they gather dust and grow until they cover everything that you perceive and leave you fair to no one. Not one right do you believe you have, and bitterness with vengeance justified and mercy lost condemns you as unworthy of forgiveness. The unforgiven have no mercy to bestow upon another. That is why your sole responsibility must be to take forgiveness for yourself. The miracle that you receive, you give. Each one becomes an illustration of the law on which salvation rests, that justice must be done to all if anyone is to be healed. No one can lose, and everyone must benefit. Each miracle is an example of what justice can accomplish when it is offered to everyone alike. It is received and given equally. It is awareness that giving and receiving are the same. Because it does not make the same unlike, it sees no differences where none exist. And thus it is the same for everyone because it sees no differences in them. Its offering is universal and it teaches but one message. What is God belongs to everyone and is His due. And now I will read the commentary by Robert Perry. Day 298, The Justice of Miracles. It seems like a long series of problems at any given... I'm having a hard time seeing this today. All right, let's try again. Life seems like a long series of problems. At any given moment, we can be wrestling with a health problem, solving a financial problem, being defeated by a career problem, avoiding a relationship problem, and considering a plumbing problem too small to deal with. This section provides the hidden truth behind these problems and how they can be truly solved. Buried deep in the heart of each problem is a sin on our part, an error in which we have been unjust. And every error is a perception in which one, at least, is seen unfairly. Every error, in other words, is a case in which we see at least one son of God as not being innocent, as deserving punishment instead of love. This unjust perception is the hidden root of the problem. There is a key psychological principle at work here. Whatever we think another deserves, we will think that we deserve. If we are unjust to someone else, then we will believe that we deserve injustices to fly our way. Now we walk through life as if we are a powerful magnet walking through a junkyard. You might call this a different take on the law of attraction. Problems follow us. Bad luck comes our way. Potholes open up before us because we choose this very fate for our brother, and now believe that since he has the same rights we do, this is the fate we deserve as well. However, as we contemplate fixing our problems, we want to hang on to that inner core. We want to keep the injustice that is the kernel of the problem and just fix the outer husk. And sometimes we do manage to fix the outer husk. Yet, as soon as we do, another problem pops up to take its place. No wonder we all relate to whack-a-mole as a metaphor for our lives. What we don't realize is that we are not dealing with a series of different problems, but rather with the same problems popping up in different forms because the hidden kernel remains intact. Jesus tells us that not until that kernel has been replaced with real justice, the problem will reoccur because it has not yet been solved. Typically, our attempts are solving the outer husk are a clear expression of that inner kernel. For we think the solution is that the bad guys are forced to pay that so we can both be vindicated and compensated. We even try to bring the Holy Spirit in on this, hoping that He will step in as the judge who rules in our favor. What we don't realize is that this mentality, in which someone loses because he is guilty, is the very mentality that caused the problem in the first place. We are secretly asking that the problem recur in new form. If we really want our problems solved once and for all, we need to not just give the outer husk to the Holy Spirit. If we really want our problems solved once and for all, we need to not just give the outer husk over to the Holy Spirit. Most of all, we need to give Him that kernel of injustice. We need to call on His justice, which impartially grants every son of God his right to everything. If we want a miracle to come and to solve our problem, we need to see miracles as the right of everyone involved. For only when we acknowledge our miracles as their right will we claim miracles as our right. In other words, we need to let the error that is at the core of the problem be corrected. that person we are being unjust toward, that person whose pride we hope will goeth before a fall, we need to forgive instead. We need to replace our yearning for schadenfreude, which is enjoyment of his misfortune, with desire for his healing. I said that wrong. It's schadenfreude, if it's right. We need to pray that he receives a miracle. This is probably the last approach to problem solving that we would ever welcome. Yet, at the same time, something feels very clean and true about it. Doesn't it make sense that at the heart of each of our problems is the big problem, the one that we are here to solve? Imagine how deeply right it would feel if we allowed the Holy Spirit to give us a miracle for that problem, the one we have been hanging on to for so long. And wouldn't it be wonderful for a change to now see miracles tumbling toward us, solving all of our problems, opening our prison doors and severing all our chains. And that is the conclusion of chapter 25, the Holy Spirit's Justice, section 10, the Justice of Miracles. Thank you for joining with me. I love you.